The yellow-green grouper, scientifically known as Epinephelinae within the family Serranidae, is a captivating species of fish renowned for its vibrant coloration and formidable presence within marine ecosystems. These fish, typically found in the Indo-Pacific region, are a popular subject for marine biology studies due to their distinctive features and complex behaviors. Their habitats span across coral reefs, rocky outcrops, and seagrass beds, where they play a crucial role as apex predators, maintaining the balance of the ecosystems in which they reside. The yellow-green grouper is known for its resilience and adaptability, thriving in a variety of oceanic conditions, from the shallow, sunlit waters to the deeper, more shadowed parts of coral reef systems. One of the most striking characteristics of the yellow-green grouper is its appearance. As its name suggests, this species is often recognized by its predominant yellow and greenish hues, which can range from a rich golden yellow on the dorsal side to a more subdued greenish tint on the ventral side. This coloration not only serves an aesthetic purpose, making it one of the more visually remarkable species of the Serranidae family, but also plays a role in its survival. Like many marine creatures, the grouper uses its colors as a form of camouflage, blending in with the colors of coral reefs and rocky seafloor habitats to evade predators. The fish's broad, stocky body is also built for strength and agility, with large pectoral fins and a wide, muscular tail that allow it to maneuver quickly through its environment in pursuit of prey or in response to threats. In terms of behavior, the yellow-green grouper is an opportunistic predator, typically preying on smaller fish, crustaceans, and invertebrates. It is often seen lurking in the shadows of coral reefs or beneath rocky ledges, waiting patiently for the right moment to strike. The grouper's ambush tactics are highly effective, as it uses its powerful jaws to quickly snatch up its prey with impressive speed. These fish are known to exhibit territorial behavior, guarding their chosen areas of the reef from other predators and competitors. This territoriality is a vital part of their behavior, as it ensures they have exclusive access to the resources within a specific area of the reef, such as food and shelter. The reproductive habits of the yellow-green grouper are equally fascinating. This species typically engages in a reproductive strategy known as group spawning, where multiple individuals come together at a specific time of year to release their eggs and sperm into the open water. This spawning behavior usually occurs in the early summer months, with large aggregations of groupers gathering at particular breeding sites. These sites are often located near drop-offs or in areas with strong currents, ensuring that the fertilized eggs and larvae are carried away from the parent fish. The fertilized eggs are buoyant and drift through the water column before settling to the ocean floor, where they hatch into larvae. The young fish, in their larval form, are planktonic, drifting in the water for several weeks before settling into the coral reef as juveniles. The early stages of their life are highly vulnerable, as they face numerous challenges from predation and environmental factors. However, once they reach adulthood, yellow-green groupers exhibit a much greater level of resilience, often living for several decades in the wild. The yellow-green grouper is a significant predator within its ecosystem, contributing to the health of coral reefs by controlling the populations of smaller fish and invertebrates. By feeding on herbivorous fish, groupers help prevent overgrazing of coral and seagrass beds, ensuring that these vital habitats remain balanced and functional. Additionally, the presence of the yellow-green grouper is an indicator of a healthy reef environment, as they are typically found in areas with rich biodiversity. The presence of such apex predators helps maintain the ecological equilibrium of the reef system, preventing any one species from becoming overly dominant and disrupting the delicate balance of marine life. However, the yellow-green grouper, like many marine species, faces numerous threats, primarily from human activity. Overfishing, pollution, and habitat destruction are some of the greatest challenges facing the species. Overfishing, in particular, has had a significant impact on grouper populations, as these fish are highly prized by both commercial and recreational fishers for their size and culinary value. The high demand for groupers, combined with unsustainable fishing practices, has led to a decline in their numbers in certain areas. Coral reef destruction, whether caused by human development, climate change, or natural disasters, also poses a significant threat to the habitats of the yellow-green grouper. These fish rely on healthy coral reefs and rocky outcrops for shelter and food, and the degradation of these environments can have a profound impact on their ability to survive and reproduce. As with many marine species, the impact of climate change on the yellow-green grouper's habitat is an ongoing concern. Rising ocean temperatures, ocean acidification, and increased frequency of extreme weather events threaten the delicate balance of coral reef ecosystems. Coral reefs, which provide both shelter and food for a vast array of marine species, including the yellow-green grouper, are particularly vulnerable to these changes. Coral bleaching, caused by elevated sea temperatures, can lead to the death of corals, which in turn affects the species that depend on them for survival. Furthermore, ocean acidification, caused by the increased absorption of carbon dioxide by the ocean, can impair the ability of marine organisms to form shells and skeletons, potentially disrupting the food chain and impacting species like the yellow-green grouper. Conservation efforts for the yellow-green grouper have focused primarily on protecting coral reef habitats and regulating fishing practices. Marine Protected Areas, MPAs, are one of the most effective tools in safeguarding the habitats of this species. By restricting or prohibiting fishing in certain areas, MPAs allow marine ecosystems to recover and thrive without the pressures of overfishing. In addition to MPAs, regulations on fishing gear and techniques, as well as the establishment of catch limits and seasonal closures, are vital for ensuring the sustainability of grouper populations. These measures help protect not only the yellow-green grouper but also the broader marine ecosystem in which it resides. Aquaculture has also emerged as a potential solution to the challenges faced by wild grouper populations. By raising groupers in controlled environments, fish farms can reduce the pressure on wild populations and provide a sustainable source of fish for the market. However, the practice of aquaculture is not without its own challenges, including concerns about water quality, disease transmission, and the use of wild-caught fish for feed. Careful management and the development of more sustainable aquaculture practices are essential for ensuring that this approach does not inadvertently contribute to environmental degradation. In addition to the aforementioned threats and conservation strategies, it is important to recognize the value of continued research in ensuring the survival and health of yellow-green grouper populations. Marine research institutions, universities, and environmental organizations are working to gather vital data on the behavior, biology, and ecological role of the yellow-green grouper. Studies on their reproductive habits, growth rates, dietary preferences, and interactions with other species provide critical insights into their needs and vulnerabilities. This knowledge is instrumental in shaping effective management policies that balance the demands of fisheries, tourism, and conservation efforts. Furthermore, scientific monitoring of the fish populations and their habitats is an ongoing necessity. Researchers track changes in the grouper's distribution and abundance, especially in response to environmental changes like rising sea temperatures and coral bleaching events. Satellite technologies, remote sensing, and underwater robotics are being employed to monitor coral reefs and the fish populations they support. This technological advancement aids in assessing the health of coral reefs, which directly impacts the yellow-green grouper and many other marine species that depend on these ecosystems. Regular surveys and monitoring allow for early detection of any threats to the grouper population, enabling more responsive management and intervention. The connection between the yellow-green grouper and local human communities is another important factor that impacts its conservation. In many coastal regions, groupers are a source of income and food security for local fishermen. Sustainable management of grouper populations is crucial for both ecological and economic reasons, as overfishing and habitat degradation can lead to long-term declines in fish stocks, affecting local livelihoods. Sustainable fishing practices, such as using selective fishing gear, seasonal closures, and fishery management programs, can ensure that grouper populations remain viable for future generations of fishermen. In this regard, community-based conservation programs that involve local fishermen in the protection of their marine resources have shown great promise. These programs encourage collaboration between scientists, conservationists, and local stakeholders, fostering a sense of shared responsibility for the health of marine ecosystems. One of the most pressing challenges facing the yellow-green grouper is the impact of global warming and its effects on marine ecosystems. Rising ocean temperatures can cause significant disruptions to coral reefs, as many coral species are highly sensitive to temperature fluctuations. When water temperatures rise beyond a certain threshold, coral polyps expel the algae living in their tissues, resulting in coral bleaching. Bleached corals are weakened and more susceptible to disease, leading to widespread coral mortality. Since yellow-green groupers rely on healthy coral reefs for food and shelter, coral bleaching poses a direct threat to their survival. Additionally, ocean acidification, caused by increased levels of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, is reducing the ability of marine organisms to build and maintain their calcium carbonate skeletons. This can disrupt the food web by affecting species that are vital to the diet of the yellow-green grouper, such as crustaceans and small fish. In light of these threats, it is increasingly important to engage in global efforts to combat climate change and its impact on the oceans. International agreements aimed at reducing greenhouse gas emissions, such as the Paris Agreement, are vital in addressing the root causes of ocean warming and acidification. At the same time, local and regional efforts to protect coral reefs and marine habitats are equally crucial. Protecting marine biodiversity is not just about saving individual species like the yellow-green grouper, but about preserving the intricate relationships between species and their environments. Healthy ecosystems are more resilient to the impacts of climate change, and by safeguarding them, we help ensure that species like the yellow-green grouper can continue to thrive in the face of environmental challenges. One promising approach to addressing both local and global threats to marine ecosystems is the establishment of marine conservation corridors. These corridors are protected areas that connect multiple marine reserves or protected zones, creating a network of safe spaces for marine life to flourish. By allowing species to move freely between protected areas, marine corridors facilitate genetic exchange, help maintain biodiversity, and enhance the overall resilience of marine ecosystems. For species like the yellow-green grouper, which are often mobile and use a variety of habitats throughout their life stages, marine conservation corridors can provide the necessary connectivity to ensure healthy populations. Another important aspect of the yellow-green grouper's conservation is the protection of its breeding grounds. As mentioned earlier, these fish engage in group spawning, where multiple individuals come together at specific locations to release their eggs and sperm. Protecting these spawning aggregations is crucial for the species' reproduction and overall population stability. Conservation efforts can focus on identifying and safeguarding known spawning sites, ensuring that they remain free from human disturbance during critical breeding periods. Seasonal closures and fishing restrictions during the spawning season can give the grouper a chance to reproduce successfully and maintain a healthy population. Tourism, particularly in areas with abundant coral reefs, also plays a role in the conservation of the yellow-green grouper. Ecotourism has the potential to generate revenue for local communities while simultaneously promoting awareness of the importance of marine conservation. Responsible tourism practices, such as snorkeling and diving tours that emphasize environmental stewardship and coral reef protection, can help raise awareness of the challenges faced by species like the yellow-green grouper. Moreover, tourism revenue can be reinvested into conservation programs, supporting habitat restoration, research initiatives, and the establishment of marine protected areas. Public education is a powerful tool in the conservation of the yellow-green grouper and other marine species. By raising awareness about the importance of healthy oceans, sustainable fishing practices, and the threats posed by climate change, we can inspire individuals to take action. Educational programs aimed at schools, local communities, and tourists can foster a sense of responsibility and stewardship for marine ecosystems. As more people become aware of the delicate balance that sustains ocean life, they are more likely to support policies and practices that protect marine resources for future generations. As we look to the future, the success of yellow-green grouper conservation will depend on continued collaboration between scientists, governments, conservation organizations, and local communities. The challenges posed by climate change, overfishing, and habitat destruction are significant, but through collective action and sustainable management practices, we can work to ensure the survival of this remarkable species. Protecting the yellow-green grouper means protecting the intricate and biodiverse ecosystems it inhabits, contributing to the health and resilience of the world's oceans.